Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Broken Theory. Today we got the homie Nicholas F. What's good?
It's good, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. Hey, I appreciate you making some time in your busy schedule to, talk with us and talk about this journey and your creative process, man. So let's go to the beginning, man. Where did you first get started with music, and how long have you been doing it for?
Oh man. So I'm ancient, right? Like I've been around for decades on decades. So like, I had humble beginnings. I started probably when I was around like sixth grade. And for me, like one thing that people don't know about me is that like for real, like the production and the rap like started at the same time with me. And so like I figured out when I was young, so I started writing in sixth grade, but around like seventh or eighth grade, my mom had this keyboard, right? And I ended up getting my hands on it. She wasn't using it much anymore. Started playing around on the keys and I was able to hear it. And so I used to have this boom box, one of those Iowa boom boxes back in the day. It had like the two tape decks, the CD player on top. It had the speakers that you can like detach, you know what I mean? Move one here, one there.
Yeah.
And on it, it also had like a microphone jack and a headphone jack. And I ended up realizing that if I plugged my headphones into the microphone jack, I could speak into one side of it and hear my voice.
Okay.
And so my little ingenuitive brain in seventh grade realized that I could take, this is what I did. This is how I like started making my first beats. I would take a blank tape, I'll put it in the deck, I would hit play and record, and then I would put that speaker or that headphone that was plugged into the microphone jack, I would put that on top of the speaker of the keyboard. It was just like a cheap little Casio keyboard. Yeah. Pull the drums up and I'll play my drum beat out for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is. Boom, 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 boom. Then I would take that tape with the drums on it and I would switch it to the other deck, put another blank tape in and record that drum beat onto this tape, but switch the instrument on the keyboard like a piano or strings, play a little melody out, you know what I'm saying? Still with the headphone on the speaker, play a little melody out onto that tape, onto the next tape. So now I got drums and a piano on this one. Then I would switch those tapes again, you know what I mean? And then overdub it and lay another instrument. And so,
man, these kids don't know how good they got it right now, man.
Right, they got everything. Like I started
it's
like
so easy,
very, very humble beginnings with it.
Yes, sir.
But I just knew I wanted to create something, right? And I didn't have any official equipment or anything like that. And that was getting me by, you know what I'm saying? Sixth, seventh, eighth grade. And then by the time I got to 10th grade, for Christmas, my parents, my 10th grade year, I ended up selling my PlayStation and using that money to go get a keyboard. And another cheap little like Casio joint or whatever, but you was able to like program little beats on it. And then for Christmas that year, I ended up getting a 4-track recorder, a Tascam 4-track. And from there, it was just like off to the races. So, I started way back in sixth grade and been doing it every day of my life since then.
I feel it. So for you, what do you feel like at that point took the forefront? Was it more recording and making your own songs, or was it beat making, or both equally?
So I was always a rapper first, right? Like I wanted to have rap. And so that was like the main thing. But in high school, like I made beats just as much as I rapped. And like the main thing was I was making beats because I needed beats to rap on. You know what I mean? Like it was a thing of necessity. And so like, they one hand washes the other. I would say that my heart was always a bit more with the rapping. But as I've gotten older, I've just found more joy in just like the production. I feel like it's more therapeutic than the writing is. The writing is a bit more grueling mentally, right? Like and it's just like a bit more taxing like I can make beats and relax. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, I
and
feel it. I
chill.
definitely
Like,
feel it. There's no
yeah,
pressure. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah.
kind of could
There's no
create your
pressure.
own
Yeah,
world and like, you know, unapologetically, you know, like with the
yeah,
music and writing songs and stuff like that. You know, like it could get a little dawning on you, you know what I'm saying? Like to where you start overthinking things and you know,
yeah,
like you don't know what
yeah,
to put out because of like what people are gonna say, what they're gonna like, what they're not gonna like. And it's like,
yeah.
you know, with those games, man, you kind of lose sight about what's important really, and it's just having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for real,
Yeah,
for real.
absolutely. And like I would say like the thing with the like writing though, the rewards I feel are more satisfying for me, right? Like if I'm like crunching my brain trying to like put together this verse that has a certain rhyme scheme or a pattern or whatever, and like
Yeah.
I'm landing everything and I'm saying some shit that I didn't even think I would be able to say type
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those rewards are higher, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
especially if
for
I
sure.
feel like I pushed the boundary.
Yep.
But in terms of like what I would do just to have fun and relax and chill or whatever, it's beat making hands down.
Nah, I feel it, bro.
Especially when I moved from a DAW to more tactile ways of production,
Yeah.
you know, using analog machines, like that's where it's at for me.
Nah, I feel it. We're gonna get there in a minute talking about the analog. But just from at that point, when did you make your first song after that? Like was it just continuing to record on the tape? Like how did that transpire from starting off and having your own equipment?
Yeah, so it's hard for me to say like when I recorded my first song, like because like when I look back, I was just always writing and recording, right? So like I couldn't tell you what my first few takes or whatever were for real, for real.
Nah, I got
Just
you.
because
You
they
was
had
just in
been
that
that
mode.
much. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just I was just doing it. But
I got you.
I can tell you like I remember like, you know, my first time going into a real studio and recording. We were in high school. You know, I had got my first job and me and some homies, you know, like we put up on studio time. And I remember at the time, the guy at the studio was charging us like, it was like $75 an hour, $100 an hour type shit. And so like, you know, we each bring $25.
Yeah.
We got 1 hour, right, you know, to record this song.
Yeah.
But like the thing was like, they was recording everything in one take, and for real, that's how it was with the 4-track recorder, right? Like everything was in one take, and so
you had
like
to be nice.
you had to be nice, right? And so if it's 4 people, say like the first nigga fuck up his verse 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah.
He finally gets it. Then the second nigga finally get to go, but he fuck up his verse. And now we gotta go
Everybody
back.
gotta go.
So so like the first nigga gotta land his shit, the second nigga gotta land it third. But like you always had the nigga who had his shit down, he always went last, right? Because
I would want to be last.
Yeah, it's just like you waiting around to get your shot. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this
I feel
was
it.
before like this is, you know what I'm saying, when niggas was pressing shit to ADAT and you know what I'm saying, like
I
recording.
definitely feel it,
so,
man. Where was your first job, bro?
My first job was actually Taco Bell.
That's fine.
In the mall. Yeah. And the crazy thing about that is my homie who was my manager there was like one of the first people I was in a rap group with.
Okay.
R.I.P. He just recently passed. Yeah, his name is Quincy, but he went by Basement Chemistry. And he was going heavy on the production side of things too. And so that was my first job, you know, and then from there I went to UPS and all of that. But yeah.
Nah, I feel it. So for you, man, like you've had a lot of different phases and stages in your career, man, you know, well versatile. What would you say is your favorite song that you've made or beat that you've created? Maybe it got some sentimental value, maybe like, you know, it's a favorite collaboration. Like what would you say is the best one for you?
That's a really hard one to pick, right? Especially when it's like when I create as much as I do, right? And as frequently as I do. But I can tell you like a couple of joints that are like dear to my heart, right?
Sure.
So one of my favorite songs, my favorite song to perform of mine is Ain't Cried Yet. From Stuck. Like, I love that song, and I love performing it. But I would say like one of my projects that's very dear to me is the Specimen Project. You know, it's an audio comic book. Out of pocket. Like I wrote the whole script. I scored the whole thing. I hired voice actors, you know what I'm saying, to say the, you know what I'm saying, to read off their lines in the script, put it all together. And it was a real labor of love. And I felt like it was something that really hadn't been explored in that way in hip hop yet, you know? Now I felt like it didn't get the attention that I necessarily wanted it to get, from like people who really follow comic books and that are in this thing. They received it well, but also noticed that like the casual hip hop fan, they kind of like just wanted the music and didn't want to sit through dialogue and stuff like that. But I love that project and I'm super proud of it. And I heard like Ghostface was about to drop something that's similar to that.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So like, you know, I'm proud to know that I was able to see that vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
for sure, man.
Yeah.
That's definitely something unique, and this is the first I'm hearing about it, to be honest with you, man.
Check that joint out.
I have to
check
now.
It out.
Like,
it's a whole like dystopian story. Because I've been reading and collecting comics since 1993. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I got tons of them, boxes of them. I'm actually in the middle of moving and resetting up my studio and shit, so that's why I got it blurred out back there. That's the green screen. But you know what I'm saying? Like I got boxes and boxes and boxes of comics that I've been collecting for years. So you know, being able to like put together two things that like I'm passionate about, comics and hip hop. I definitely check that joint out.
I just saved it, my brother. Yep. So let's talk about that for a second, man, because it's not every day that you hear somebody with a vision that like, it's like, I see the way that the industry's going, but I'm gonna go left and just do what the fuck I want. You know, like in a situation like that, you do have the possibility to fail, but you know what I'm saying? Like that fear, feeling the fear and doing it anyways, man, is always gonna lead you to success, in my opinion. When you told me that, bro, I like kind of like freaked out because I love comics too. You know what I'm saying? So like just hearing that experience, I'm like, I gotta roll me one and just vibe out. You know what I'm saying? And just see what it's about. Take a journey.
Getting your vibe and do that. I promise you.
I'm doing that today. I'm doing that today.
Yeah, it's a 100%. Real thing. Like it's not half baked at all. Like
for sure. So I want to talk about that process with you, bro. And like one, I know you said that you have a love for comics, but like what pushed you to work on that at that current time and like actually put that to the forefront and execute? You know what I'm saying?
So what kind of put me there was like so before I released that project, the last project I had did was Stuck, and it had been years since I had dropped.
Because you released that in 2023, right?
Yeah, I released that in 2023, and I had dropped Stuck in 2018. So it had been about 5 years.
Okay.
Now, throughout all that time, it wasn't that I wasn't writing and recording. I was working on different projects, and you know, working and shelving shit. And I wanted to come back. I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to just kind of like do something that I was passionate about. I felt like, you know, a lot of my earlier years in time during music, especially when I started dealing with managers and kind of like getting a little name for myself, like in the blog era and all of that stuff, I would create things that I liked, but I was also kind of like had a lot of other people's hands in the pot. Like, yo, you should do this type of song. You know what I mean? And I wanted to just kind of like do something that was wholly just me. And I wanted to do something that was different. You know, like podcasts were heavily on the rise during that 5-year period. And I wanted to kind of like do something that was more long form that could be viewed as like an audio podcast, but not podcast, like a comic book. And I was thinking about putting it out, split one album to like short episodes. You know what I mean? Rolling it out like that. But, you know, I ended up just putting the whole thing out just because I just figured like people would appreciate being able to get the whole experience at once.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, that was kind of really just it. Like, just wanting to do something that I knew I was like passionate about, and that's something I hadn't seen done before.
For sure.
I feel like it's a lot of like rinse with hip hop a lot of the
cookie
time.
cutter shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like trying to just push the boundaries and do something different.
Word. So what was that like? You know, and I'm just saying this for all the visionaries out there that got something in their head that they want to do that's never been done before, man. And just want to execute, man. What was it like taking your ideas and kind of making a concept from nothing? I mean, because nobody's ever done this before. So, you know, I know you got a love for everything. You wanted to do it, but doing it is actually something completely different. You know what I mean? Like, I know that it was a process in itself to find the actual voices that you had to include and things like that.
Yeah.
Talk about that for a second, man. Like, what was it like actually executing and doing the work?
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. You know, like, when you're doing something like that, you got to be dialed in all the way, especially when you're a one-man machine, right? Like, like it's not like I had anybody else helping me write it, produce it, or reach out to people or any of that. I would say the people that helped me the most in the actual creation of it were my children, right? Like, you know, we're riding to school in the mornings. I'm driving them to school and I'm playing it for them, right? And like they would ask me, well, Dad, what's gonna happen after this part? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's like, I want to know what happens next, and they would like ask questions that I would have to answer creatively. You know what I mean? And it kind of like fleshed itself out. Initially, it started as just like a glorified album intro. You know what I mean? And then like after I did that, I was just like, okay, well, what if it ties into the next song like this and that? And it kind of like formed itself. Like I didn't initially sit down and say, hey, I want to do an audio comic book. Started with like a glorified album intro that was just like way over the top. And then it was like, you know what though? As I started to think about it more, I was like, yo, nah, I could keep going. And so like after I had the first like song or two, I sat down and was just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to write out a whole outline of like what had happened. You know, that I started thinking about the character and, you know, coming up with a background for him. And then the people that he interacted with, I had to come up with backgrounds for them. And, you know, it just became like a whole world. I had this big spider chart and graph, you know, of just like all these people and how they interact with each other. Yeah. And so it was new for me. But yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work.
No, I definitely feel it, man.
But I'm proud of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of what I created with it. And honestly, like, you know, I still push that project because I would like to continue that story. You know what I mean? Like, I wrote the next few issues already. You know what I mean? Like, I know what happens next in the story. It's just a matter of next time I go to execute that, I'm gonna want some more help with it.
Yeah, no doubt. And hey, man, any way that I could contribute, you know, I wear a lot of hats, man, but like I'm always down to help on some dope shit like that, man. Just getting word out.
Yeah, man, we can definitely build on it.
Yeah, no doubt. As far as like the comic though, did you put out like an actual comic book with it or no?
So we started on it. I was working with a really dope comic book artist by the name of Chris Visions. He's Richmond based, but he's worked for Marvel, DC, Boom, Image, like all of the and you know, we got pretty decently far into it. But you know, at the time it cost a lot of money too. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Definitely. And so I needed investment. You know what I'm saying? To see it all the way through. So we still have pages and pages of it, but it just needs to be fully seen. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel it.
Seen through, yeah. But yes, we were working on the actual visual comic of it. There's a whole like character designs and everything. It's a beautiful looking project. It's just this needs to be seen all the way through.
That's a different type of strength, man. When you can let roadblocks like that kind of like not hinder you from putting the project out, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a lot of us artists and producers, man, we struggle with this perfectionism to where it's like it has to be like this. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And like when things go wrong, it's super easy to throw in the towel and be like, fuck the project, I'm not doing this anymore. I wanted a comic book, you know what I'm saying? But like to still put it out, man, and just like build off of that, man, it speaks wonders on your soul, your spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like that relentlessness.
And I'm definitely falling victim to that too, you know what I'm saying? But I just kind of like wanted it out there in the universe.
Nah,
right?
I feel it, man.
At least the audio piece of it, just like have it all the way out there so that people can digest it. And because like, you know, like time will tell, you know what I mean? Like time will tell. Who knows what happens with it? Who knows when the right ears hear it and it can see the vision, you know what I'm saying? So
hey, you could drop a comic for the 5-year anniversary, man. Do a bundle with some t-shirts.
That's how I look at it.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's never over till it's over. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I definitely plan on circling the back around, yo, and seeing that all the way through.
For sure. As an artist, man, how do you feel like you found your sound to be what it is right now? Like you're super secure and like it seems like you only make what you want to make and you're having fun with it. You know, you're enjoying your craft. I'm sure you had seasons to where you weren't really as satisfied or happy. You know what I'm saying? You were doing other things to, you know, be relevant. Everybody has that stage. But like, how does it feel right now for you?
Like right now I'm straight returning to form. Like, you know, a guy that I went to high school with left a comment. He was like, yo, this is that old senior year of high school flow. And it's just like, yo, I'm just returning to form. I guess, you know, you realize that especially in today's day and age, you can pretty much do whatever it is you want with this shit. It just requires consistency and, you know what I'm saying, dedication to it. And so for me, man, I'm just going back to what I love, like imaginative, imagery filled raps, you know what I mean, wordplay, head nodding beats, you know what I mean, just like the shit that I'm into, like you know what I mean. I would say like my raps these days are still in that comic book vein, you know what I mean, like
that's
it's
love,
still
bro.
the same, it's still the same type vibe. I'm just going with what I love and the shit that like the first reasons I fell in love with it all, right? Absolutely. Like the things that initially kicked me off. I'm just resorting back to those. Not necessarily worried about playing the game. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Like, you can't, man, because
it's
way too much, man. With the algorithms and all of that stuff, man, it becomes like, you know, like a guinea pig wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like a hamster wheel.
And especially it's like, you know, like with the onset of like AI and stuff and how all of that, like it's able to replicate shit. Like what's going to matter and what's going to stand out is the things that the AI can't do and isn't doing. You know what I mean? Like and forging new ways and new paths. And so like especially when it comes to the pen, like my whole thing is to kind of like go completely left of center. Whatever it is them niggas is doing, yo, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? I want to do some shit that's not easy to replicate.
Nah, I feel it. And you know, in the story, man, like being able to go back to your roots and just see where you come from, you know, is a beautiful thing in itself. Like it's therapeutic, you know what I'm saying? Like to be able to have the access.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, in real time, bro, when you dropping projects, when you in that mode, just working, and you lift your head up and you like, oh shit, 5 years passed by. You know what I'm saying? You remember how like when you first started, or like, I'm sure you remember your mode and how things have changed from like when you started the comic book album and like, where you at right now, and like much has changed, you know what I'm saying? So like it's dope to be able to go back and kind of just see where you was at, your mindset and things like that. That's dope as hell. For you, when you're working on an album, what's that process like? Do you have like maybe a couple songs made and then you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do an album? Or is there a concept in mind first and then you create off of that? Like, what's the process for you?
Yeah, so in the past, it would be, um, I'll fall into these moments where
Mm-hmm.
I will make like a string of songs that all seem to have a similar theme, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times I wouldn't necessarily go into it thinking like, hey, I want to make a project called this, about this, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Besides like the
Yeah.
specimen project, outside of that is just me making music, kind of like getting my thoughts and feelings out, whatever it
Yep.
is,
Yep.
whatever my mindset is at the time. And then as I'm listening to all of these songs, I'm realizing that there are these common threads that run between them,
Yeah.
in terms of like theme. And then, I'll just use my sort of marketing brain. Like I went to VCU for advertising and marketing. And so
Okay.
like I'll just kind of like look at the overall bigger picture and just like, all right, well, how can I package all these together, and in a way that makes sense. And then generally, once I have that larger theme and that idea, then I'll go back and I'll make tweaks to those songs. You know what I mean? Might
Yeah.
change a line, might make a song roll into the next one a certain way to sort of like pay back that larger idea.
Nah, I feel it. I feel it, man.
Mm.
How important is faith to you?
It's faith.
Yes, sir.
I mean, faith is very important to me. I grew up, with parents that had us in church every week. And I don't attend church regularly now, but still, like when shit starts to hit the fan, like I only know one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I only know one thing to do. So I lean on that. It's very important to me.
Yeah,
And
no, I feel it.
it's like something that I feel like I'm in constant conversation, you know what I'm saying, with the creator,
Yeah,
all
you have
throughout
to
the
be.
day. Yeah.
You have to be, man. Because it's like once you're at one with the creator, man, everything else it's a state of flow, man. It's just unexplainable, bro. Like miraculous things just start happening, bro. You don't even gotta think about it. Just start coming to you. What's one place you want to go that you ain't been to yet?
Man, there's a few places. Egypt. I would love to go see the pyramids.
Yeah.
I have this thing, I love the ancient world. Like, I want to go see the Colosseum. You know what I'm saying? Circus Maximus. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to go to Rome, and this is like Stonehenge. You know what I mean? Gobekli Tepe. You know what I mean? Like all of these really old ancient places. I would love to go see. I have a real love for that sort of ancient history.
Word. No, that's dope. Walk me through an average day with you. What's it like?
Um, Wake up, coffee, first thing in the morning, and then I get in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not working, I hop right out here into the lab. I'm running through samples. You know what I mean? Like I got a pretty heavy vinyl collection back here. And the thing is, like I got rid of most of my vinyl. But it's still a lot. Constantly going through that. I read my comics daily. Every Wednesday, I hit the store. I get my stack for the week. You know what I mean? Generally, I'll read with my coffee in the morning. And then it's just making beats and then recording. My whole thing lately has been to like, one thing that I've fallen victim to is kind of like being like a scatterbrain. Like I want to make this, and then I want to put a verse on this song, and then a verse on this one, and I'll just be jumping back and forth. But as of lately, I've been kind of like setting up my days. Like on this day, I'm gonna work on this song. This day, I'm gonna work on this song. This day, I'm gonna work on this song, and I'll just spend the entire day on that one song and see it through. And then I like to go running. Generally in the evening time, around 5:30, 6, as the sun's starting to go down. I'll go run my 2 or 3 miles, eat dinner, and then back out in the lab until it's time to go to bed. You know what I mean? And sometimes that could be 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I find myself creating my best shit really late at night during the witch hours.
Yeah, man. When you got kids, bro, it's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
gotta find that time.
Just having the whole house like peaceful and quiet, and no interruptions and things like that, man. That 12 o'clock to 5 a.m., 6 a.m. window.
That's the time.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the time.
That's where it's at.
That's
bro.
my time. And like, you know, that's the time where it's just like no phone, no nothing. Like I ain't gotta worry about no text messages coming in. I ain't worried about social media, none of that shit. I'm just like locked in on what I'm doing, complete focus. That's where the breakthroughs happen.
Yep, absolutely. For you, man, I noticed that you've been dropping some singles. Let's talk about those singles for a minute, man. Like, what's the whole mindset and thought process behind the singles?
Just to not overthink anything. That's one thing. One of my personal things that I'm working to get over is my overthinking. And you know, just switching that mindset from project, conceptual album and all of that to just like put a song out, you know. And I got so much music sitting on my hard drives, years and years and years worth of things that I've recorded and labored over, written and rewritten and re-recorded, remixed and all of that stuff that has never seen the light of day still, because it might not fit a certain concept for an album, or it might not fit a concept for this project or whatever it is. And so like right now I'm just in the process of just kind of like letting it all go and thinking less and doing more. You know what I mean? Because like, you know, I know that I can, what's the thing, like overthink things until I come to a point of paralysis where I'm not moving or doing anything. So I'm just overthinking it and reworking it, and the work is never done. You know
I feel it.
At some point, I gotta set a deadline and it's gotta be done. You know what I mean? I just gotta put it out.
Sometimes we could take the magic, you know what I'm saying? Like from the actual music by sitting there etching at it. You know what I'm saying? We take away what like really made it special in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
That's where I'm at. It's just like thinking less, doing more, and kind of like freeing myself of that. Which is why I said earlier, like, you know, my thing would be like, yo, I'm just gonna focus on this one song for this day, or for real, I've been giving myself a week, like, right? Because since I'm gonna be putting the singles out, you're like, hey, I got all this shit in the vault. I'm gonna pick this song that I did 2 years ago, and I'm just gonna focus on this one song for this week and get it ready to go out to the public.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and man. So, I was gonna ask about that, man. Like, are you like freshly making the tracks? Are these older tracks? Is it like how is the process? Like, are you taking them from old concepts that like maybe you were gonna do an album and you know you just scrapped the whole idea? Maybe you're not ready for it. Like, you just want to start putting it out. Like, tell me a little bit more about the selection process.
Yeah, like I wrote and recorded Juggernaut probably like back in 2022, I think, and I just now put it out. It's Cold Drawn Bubbles. That's actually relatively newer. I did that earlier this year. And so but for most of these songs, like I got a whole folder of joints that I know I want to put out, and a lot of them, you know, they're from the past few years. And so it's just like I go through, I'm picking what I like, and then I'm just gonna focus on that one song that week. If I feel I need to re-record it, I'll do it. If I feel I need to remix it or remix the beat or whatever it is I want to do, I'm gonna see through all of those ideas for that week, and then I'm gonna get it ready to drop and put it out and not overthink it. You know what I mean? Like on to the next one. I feel that. And just put this shit out. Are you working?
Yeah. Are you working on any projects right now?
Yes. But I'm not gonna speak on those. Okay. Because they're with I'm working on those projects with certain people, and I kind of want to keep that surprise.
Okay. No worries.
So in terms of projects that I'm producing and seeing straight through, I'm just putting out singles. But yes, I do have a few projects that I'm working on right now that I'm very excited about.
That's amazing, man. I look forward to seeing all the wonderful things that you got planned, man. For real, for real. I do want to ask you, man, what's your relationship with music theory, and what has the journey been like for you navigating that?
Yeah. So with music theory, I've been exposed to it, right? I would say, I think in 8th grade, I took like piano lessons for like 1 semester in school, like in music class. And when I was in high school, I did show choir. I have an understanding. But in terms of like right now, I'm not versed on it. I still play everything by ear, you know.
You have to, man.
I'm good at it though, like in terms of just like hearing the notes, you know, like knowing what to do. I couldn't tell you what note is what note. I don't know if this, like, I know what a minor chord is, I know what a major chord is, but I don't really know what a diminished 7 is. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Like, I know them shits exist.
Inverted, right? And all of that shit.
Like, I don't get all of that.
I feel you, bro.
But I know how to get the sound that I want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I completely
and I have
understand.
an understanding, like, these keys work with these. You know what I mean? Like, it's been all ear for me from the very beginning. Like,
Same with me,
when
man.
like when I was saying earlier, like, you know, I grabbed my mom's keyboard when I was young. When I played it, I was able to hear it. What I meant was, big ass wasp. Okay. What I meant was, you know, like I could hear. I knew that if I hit these notes, this sounded good, and if I hit these notes, this sounds bad. You know what I mean? And I started to recognize patterns. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like I learned by my ear and through pattern recognition.
Yeah, I mean, for me, man, that was one of the hardest things for me because, you know, I mainly operate with samples. And for me, man, I was a rapper first like you. And it wasn't until I was homeless in 2017, man, that I started, like, you know, applying myself and learning about, you know, making beats and engineering. I turned the storage unit that I was staying in into a studio and kind of like flipped it into a hustle, started getting the interest that way, you know. But at the end of the day, man, like, it's something that I struggle with, man, because, like, you know, not knowing music theory, bro, it kind of feels like a handicap, but it's a blessing in disguise, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not like tied down to like, oh, things have to be this way or it's got to be this formula. You know, you're just chasing the vibe to where it's like, does it rock or not? Is it hot or not? You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, that's where the magic is made.
And I'm gonna be honest with you though, like I've been the past few months looking to get piano lessons, right? Like, like I looked up, I saw Guitar Center offers them and whatnot. Like, there are a few things I want to learn how to play bass. And I want to officially learn how to play the piano, and just to see what can happen, right? So, you know, I'm not against it, but I am glad that I've been blessed to have the ear for it. Like, I can come up with a melody like a motherfucker. Like,
you
I got melodies, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, you know, I know what sounds good. You know what I mean? It would be good to have some technical know-how behind that, though.
For sure. I feel like from what I've heard, music theory is basically just the language. So, like, you hearing something and being able to be like, oh, that's A sharp, I'm gonna play in this, or A sharp goes with C, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So, like, being able or to communicate to somebody, like, if you got a guitar player or you got a bass player with you, like, hey, I'm in A sharp or whatever. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, that's a way to communicate. But man, like, that's something that I struggle with too.
I would be happy to be comfortable with scales, right? Learning the scales. I had it memorized for a little while, like how to, like, well, you take 2 steps and then 1 step and a half step and all of that, like, you know.
But you got to stay in it, man, you know.
I do want to get good with scales and all of that, but right now my ears are getting
little by little, man. Yep. What advice would you give somebody that is self-taught, trying to navigate, that doesn't know music theory? What would be the best piece of advice that you would give them to follow their ear? Any techniques, any systems you got?
I really don't have techniques and systems. I'll tell you this.
Okay.
I say use your time wisely, right? It's all about the time that you put in. And sometimes you got to be selfish with your time. You know what I mean? And it's like the time you put in is what is going to be you get out. Like I spend a lot of time working on it. And through that time that you spend, you will have those breakthroughs, those moments of clarity. Where it's like, so that's how you know what I mean? So that's what that is. That's how you get that sound, whatever it is. It's just time. I feel like we're in a day and age where like there's so many shortcuts, and you know, because we have YouTube and all these things where you can just watch a video where somebody gives you the sauce, right? Or gives you the recipe. You'll discover more by putting the time in. You know what I'm saying? Like I come from an era where we didn't have tutorials and people giving away the sauce. No one taught me multi-syllabic rhyme patterns. I picked that up through listening to rappers who do that, realizing like, oh damn, this nigga's rhyming this many words all at one time. You know what I mean? And coming up with a name for it for myself, you know what I mean? And practicing these techniques. But that only came through the amount of time that I was spent listening and memorizing these other guys' verses and so on and so forth. So my advice is put your time in, yo. Don't try to do no shortcuts. Enjoy every moment, you know what I mean? Or be present in the moment that you're creating, you know what I mean? Pay attention, be present, and use your time wisely.
You have to. Let's talk about gear for a second, man. What's your favorite piece of gear and why? Already. SP.
B44 MK2, man.
Yes, sir.
That's easily my favorite piece of gear. You know, I got the SX too. I use both of them. I love the textures in the SX. Like I'll create in the MK2 and then run it through the SX. And then like a lot of times, like kind of giving my sauce away a bit, but I'll run my beats or my tracks through my cassette deck over here. You know what I mean? Just to get that warmth from the cassette, and then I'll run that back out into the DAW. But yeah, my favorite piece of equipment is this SP.
Yeah, word. Nah, that's dope. That's dope. It could be challenging navigating, you know what I mean, the older technology and you know, like learning how to do things. But we got tutorials out, man. So it's like sometimes those limitations could play as a blessing, you know what I'm saying, in disguise, to where it's like it changes your whole thought pattern on going into making a record. You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's why I fell in love with the SP initially. Like I spent years creating in Logic, right? And using I did plenty of projects in Logic. But like I felt like I said, yo, I'm a person that will work and overthink. And you know, like when I have too many options, it might not ever get done. The thing that I loved about the SP, especially the initial, the SX, was that I had to make decisions in the moment. I had to stick with them, and I had to be good with them. You know what I mean? Like, and so especially because I was doing a lot of the resampling when I first started using that machine. I wasn't even really messing around in the pattern mode. So, you know, I had to make decisions, stick with it, record it out. You know what I mean? And that was my piece of art for that day. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I love guardrails. I create better with guardrails. Tie a hand behind my back, and I'm gonna throw a knockout punch.
Yep. Nah, I feel it, bro. It has to be that way, man, because I feel like when you're limited, man, like, you know, that overthinking goes away. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're limited, you don't have as much effects, you don't have as much like functions and things like that. Like all of that overthinking of what you could possibly, like, you just get straight into the state of flow, and you just start doing what you do. And, you know, it kind of brings that, like, that love for the game back You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where like that classic golden era of hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where it's like everything is super intentional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. Any books that you're reading or that you have read that have changed your life forever?
I'm gonna bring I got two.
Okay, let's do it.
First the Bible, right?
Absolutely.
That changed my life forever, right? Like
Yeah.
read that one early on. But nah, the 48 Laws of Power. You know, I think I first got that book in like 2002, something like that. Whenever it came out. My homie brought it through. I thought it was really interesting. You know, and from there I went on to get the rest of his books, Robert Greene's books. I went back, I got The Art of Seduction, I got The 50th Law, I got Mastery. So all of those. And then, you know, like once again, my comics, you know, like there's a lot to learn in those things. You know what I mean? Like especially nowadays, and the way that these writers are approaching them, the Jonathan Hickmans of the world, like the way they build these stories up, the nuggets of truth and wisdom they throw in. I stand behind reading. I was always a big reader. Growing up, I would read the Hardy Boys books and all of that stuff. So
nah, I feel it. Yeah, I always love to watch anime, and you know, I like comic books, but I don't have a comic collection, which I'm eventually gonna get into it. But yeah, man, as far as like the best piece of advice that you've ever received in this industry, man, what would you say it was, and who was it from?
I can't remember who told me this, but I think the best piece of advice that I ever received was just to be yourself, right? Like, you know, I came up, like really started to kind of like give my name in like that 50 Cent era, like that real gangster rap era, right? You know, I was influenced to do things that I had no business doing, right? Like when ultimately I just wanted to rap, but I got caught up doing a bunch of other shit, you know, trying to fit a role. And really, I really just wanted to be myself. You feel what I'm saying? And that's not to say that anything I did in the past was fraudulent, because what I did is what I did, right? But being myself is where my joy is at now, right? It's why I can put out an album like The Specimen. It's why I can drop a song like Coldron Bubbles, where, you know, you talking about talismans and direct energy pulse weapons and like all of that stuff, like the shit that I really like and I like getting, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, it's just like be yourself, man. There's too many carbon copies out here. We got duplicates of all your favorite rappers. There are tons of duplicates. You know what I mean?
Infinite.
And then like I said, with AI now, they're gonna be able to duplicate that better than you ever could. So be yourself. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. And that's what's gonna make you special. That's what's gonna make you stand out, and that's what's gonna give you longevity.
Absolutely. How do you navigate creative block, if ever you have any moments?
Oh, I definitely have moments. I just push through. I just do it. I run into writer's blocks frequently, to be honest with you, when life gets to going. And I know that if I want to break, what I do when I enter writer's block is I'll put a clock on myself, right? And I'll tell myself, I need 16 bars in 30 minutes, and I'll like because one thing sometimes I get hung up on is trying to like have these like complex rhyme patterns, and I'll like take that guardrail away, and I won't like confine myself to just one sort of like this standard of rhyming this many syllables all at one time type shit. And I just set a clock on myself and just get it done. and it won't come out. You know what I'm saying? It won't be a verse that I ever see a song. But then the next day I'll tell myself, yo, I need another one. And I'll write. And then eventually I hit this point where it's just like, oh shit, is this coming to me? You know what I mean? And then like it might be 4 or 5 verses that I wrote just to get to this one. You know what I mean? And so like me, the best way to get through any sort of block is to literally chip away at it.
You got to.
Yeah, like and then sometimes running. Like I'll say that. I'll go on a run with like an instrumental playing and like the shit just comes to me as well. Like running and then just like writing my way through.
Nah, I feel it. How do you navigate moments of doubt when you start doubting yourself? That's a whole different story, you know what I'm saying?
That is a thing. I'm still learning how to do that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I still reminded. I still remind myself. You know, a lot of times it's just talking, right? Having somebody that you can be honest with and say, yo, I'm feeling this way or that way, and having somebody that really knows you that can remind you, nah, you really that nigga though. You know what I'm saying? Like I got those people in my life who really know me, who know what I've been through, and you know, they're able to remind me. You know what I mean? So it's definitely about having that good support around you, and being humble enough and vulnerable enough to open up and talk about it when you are feeling that way. I've been one to suffer in silence. You know what I mean? With too much pride to ever say, yo, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way. So
it could be hard, man, especially in the Black community, bro, to like be vulnerable in general, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of this tough guy shit going on, man, to where it's like everybody want to be tough, everybody want to be strong, but you know, that's not efficient. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, 100%. We are all human beings. You know what I'm saying? At some point, we need something or someone to lean on, you know what I'm saying, for strength. And respect to you, man, for real, you know what I'm saying? Just even admitting that you're human. Because most people, you know, they just get to popping shit, you know what I'm saying? So for real, respect, man. Who are some... go ahead. No, go ahead.
Say I have definitely been a victim of my pride. Like I told you, I was moving. Like I moved that whole crib for Dolo by myself. I should have asked for help. I moved the couch, the bed, the everything, just because like I have a hard time asking for help. It was like this one point, like a nigga was asking me, like as I'm like moving through the apartment with this big ass sofa on this dolly, like trying to go through these doors. The guy like, yo, you need me to get the door for you? I'm like, if you want to, you know what I'm saying?
No
like,
problem.
I need the nigga to get the door. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I'm just like, yo, if you don't mind, that'd be cool.
I struggle with that too, man, because it's like the way that I'm built, bro. It's like if I gotta ask you to help me, bro, and you like if I'm telling you that I'm moving and I gotta physically ask you to help me, bro, it's like I don't want the help, bro.
I don't want, right. Like nigga, just pull up there. Pull up,
exactly. You know what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, that's me all day.
I feel it, bro. I feel it. But at the end of the day, man, you know, those type of qualities is what sets you apart from the others. You know what I'm saying? You're willing to put the work in. You're not willing to take shortcuts. I was going to ask you, who are people in your circle that kind of like remind you when you get down on yourself, or even, you know, people that you call to make creative decisions and things like that, people that you trust? Who are the people in your circle that push you forward?
DJ Banga, all the time will give me that pep talk when I need it. You know, my shorty will give me that pep talk when I need it. My manager will give me that pep talk when I need it. My brothers, Radio, Michael Millions, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a small list of people that I turn to when I'm feeling that way. But they're always there for me. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. All right, man. Give me 3 of your favorite movies.
Ooh, man. All right. I'm just gonna throw a couple of joints out there.
Let's do it.
I love the Departed.
Okay, that's fire.
So like that's slept on. this is actually really tough though too, right? Because I like so many types of movies.
Hey, put me on some golden shit, man. Give me something to watch.
I'm gonna say I like The Departed a lot. I'm a big fan of horror movies. So like when The Conjuring first dropped, that was special. In my opinion. Ninja Scroll, one of my favorite animes. Love that fucking movie.
I still remember the first time I saw that shit, bro.
That was
Escalade with a TV headrest, bro.
right. That movie is crazy. I really like Casino. That's one of my favorites. I guess I'll stick with those for now. But like,
let's do it.
There's so many joints. You know what I mean?
I feel it.
All of that.
Yeah. Give me 3 of your favorite albums that kind of shaped your sound as an artist, as a producer, just kind of like your DNA for you, who you are as a person.
That Mad Villainy right there that you got, that's one for sure. The Blueprint was one. That was just like a thing in that era. Eminem's first album.
That was crazy.
Yeah, his first album was crazy. Especially when it comes to like those multi-syllabic rhyme patterns. Wu-Tang Forever was one. I'm going past 3, but these are just some that really stood out. Wu-Tang Forever. It Was Written by Nas. Like It Was Written joint that I Gave You Power. Shit like that.
That's crazy. That song, man. That was just. I heard that song. You know, I wasn't really like listening to music during that time. Like, I had to kind of do my history research and shit like that. But when I first heard that song, bro, and just was able to like dissect it and realize what he was talking about, I was like, God damn, bro, like I gotta step my game up, bro. Like
that song was crazy. Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1990 Eternal was huge for me. Busta Rhymes, The Coming was huge for me. So
what would you say is your most memorable moment on the come up?
Hard for me to have a most memorable. There are a couple. I won the Source Unsigned Hype back when Source Magazine was doing this thing. I came up battling. So there was that. I would probably say 106 in Park though. Doing a 106 in Park Freestyle Friday, getting the Hall of Fame.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Who is somebody that you would love to work with?
Alchemist.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Y'all two cooking up, bro. That would
Alchemist.
be crazy. Y'all would have to do a whole tape. Yeah. For real. All right, man. So how has your process evolved from your early project, like your first projects, up until like right now where you're at creating projects?
It's evolved in that it's evolved in a lot of ways. I used to overthink it too much. And then now I've just kind of like reverted back to this pulling the trigger. And I used to pull the trigger a lot more when I was younger. And right now it's this like letting go. You know what I'm saying? It's pulling the trigger.
Which project or song do you feel like feels closest to your truest self?
I would probably say, damn, man. It's tough because I've been recording and creating music for so long, right? So like my true self, like I would say they all kind of were close to my true self in that moment.
Sure.
At that
but like
time.
When I say that, I don't mean like, you're not being authentic or anything like that. But I mean like when people hear your name, what is the DNA would you say is the closest thing to like, this is what I want them to think of?
Probably like Trifling, Stuck, or my last album. You know what I'm saying? That one.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. Nah, I feel it. What have you learned about yourself through collaborating with others?
I learned that I have an approach that is specifically me, right? Like when I was younger, I used to be like really competitive when I got on songs with other people. And you know, wanting to have the craziest verse or the craziest line or whatever. And now I realize that when people want me on their song, it is to bring what it is that I do to the table, right? Like I know that I got my own thing, you know what I mean? And my own approach and way of rapping and going about my shit. And the more I work with other people, the more I realize that I am unique.
You gotta be in this game, man, because like you said multiple times, bro, there's too many carbon copies, and it's like, you know, if you keep going the same way everybody else going, bro, like you're not original. You know what I'm saying? You just riding the waves. You just pretty much the trend's gonna end up leaving you somewhere to where you don't have a legacy. You know what I'm saying? You just been chasing trends your whole career, to where it's like it doesn't make no sense. But what do you look for in people to collaborate with? Is it something that, like, you know, they gotta pay you? Like, do you want to make like good art? Like, what is the process like for you?
It all depends.
Okay.
Yes, people do have to pay me to do certain records. If I don't know who you are, we have no rapport or anything like that, then for my time, because I put a lot of effort into it. You know what I mean?
As you should.
Yeah, so like, there's that, and then there's just having a good rapport with people and having a mutual respect.
Absolutely.
And interest in it.
What would you say is the riskiest creative decision that you ever made, and did it pay off?
Yeah, I think the riskiest thing was doing the comic book album. I think that was a gamble for time, money, and all of that. And I do think it paid off. I didn't necessarily do what I initially thought it would do, but I definitely think it paid off.
Nah, absolutely.
The people that tapped into it.
Nah, for sure. I'm definitely tapping into it today, man. For real. We're gonna go ahead and get to the questions that your followers have sent in. Dunny Kruger asks, your favorite of your own tracks or records?
I think Ain't Cried, yo. I think Ain't Cried is definitely one of my favorite records of mine. I love performing Walls of Jericho. That one always goes crazy. I like Ziplocs a lot. That's one of my favorite records.
Word. Well, hey, man, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for, you know what I'm saying, setting some time aside to talk with us. For real, deep dive on the creative process.
Absolutely.
Much gratitude, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you for having me.
No doubt.
I'm down to do it any other time as well. So
no doubt, man. And anytime, you know, you got something new coming up, and you know what I mean, you just want to talk about the creative process, anything, you more than welcome, bro. Anytime. All right, my brother. Definitely appreciate you, man.